You ever have one of those moments where time freezes? Yeah, that was me, standing in my front yard with a gun pointed at my daughter's face. And the guy holding it. Not some criminal. Not a burglar. It was the HOA security guard from our own neighborhood, and he thought she looked suspicious coming home at 10 p.m. What he didn't know was, my daughter leads FBI tactical raids for a living. My name is Richard Alton. I'm a retired U.S. diplomat who spent 30 years abroad. After my wife passed, I moved to a peaceful little place called Silver Rock Estates in Vermont. A picturesque gated community with trimmed hedges, serene lakes, and an HOA run like a miniature dictatorship. 3 months into living here, my daughter Maddie finally got a break from her covert work and decided to visit. She just wrapped up a 2-year counterintelligence assignment. Maddie's 27, a Quantico top graduate, and the youngest female to ever lead a tactical unit focused on domestic threats and fraud. She doesn't talk much about her work, but I know enough to say you do not want to mess with her. So Maddie arrives late one night. I gave her the gate code, but in my excitement, I forgot to inform the HOA. Rookie mistake. As she pulled up, Curtis Dalar, head of HOA security and a disgraced ex-cop with a hero complex, decides she's some kind of infiltrator. Next thing you know, he's got a Glock drawn and is screaming at her to get on the ground. I rush out, heart pounding, to find Maddie standing stone still, eyes on Curtis, reading the situation like a chessboard. She doesn't flinch, doesn't raise her voice. Instead, she calmly tells him that pointing a gun at a federal officer is a felony. Curtis's hands shake, but the arrogance in his eyes refuses to budge. He only lowers the weapon after what feels like an eternity. The next morning, Robert and Cheryl Whitman show up at my door. They run the HOA. Robert's a retired logistics executive with delusions of grandeur. Cheryl's a social ladder-climbing wife who treats the neighborhood like a country club monarchy. They hand me a formal incident notice and suggest my daughter should have checked in. Maddie, dressed in jeans and sipping tea, leans against the doorway and asks, all calm and polite, "Mr. Whitman, are all your security personnel licensed to carry firearms in this state? Because what happened last night wasn't just improper, it was criminal." That's when things turned. Maddie started investigating. Quietly. Thoroughly. It started with HOA bylaws pages of overreaching nonsense. She flagged clauses that directly violated state law. Then she dug deeper. Turns out, Curtis wasn't even officially licensed anymore. His permit had expired due to a failed psych evaluation. And the security firm that employed him, owned by Cheryl's brother, funneling HOA funds at inflated rates. It gets worse. The HOA's annual security budget had doubled in the past 3 years, but patrols were minimal and services were questionable. Landscaping contracts, awarded to Robert's former college roommate. Community upgrades, non-existent. Maddie traced nearly $400, 000 in unexplained expenditures. Curtis, feeling the pressure, began parking his vehicle across from our house for hours. He issued fake violation notices, our lawn too short, our flag too vibrant. Maddie installed covert security cams. One night, they caught Curtis and two guards in our yard at 3 a.m., measuring the height of our grass with flashlights. That footage was gold. Meanwhile, Maddie connected with Jessica Hale, an HOA board member and real estate attorney. Jessica had long suspected something shady, but lacked proof. Together, they assembled a case. Maddie even called in a favor from Agent Theo Morales, a financial crime specialist who owed her a bottle of whiskey and a weekend. Then came the HOA emergency meeting. The Whitmans wanted to push a new bylaw allowing security to enter any property with probable cause. Maddie and I sat in the back. When the floor opened for questions, I stood up, diplomatic voice activated. Mr. Whitman, as a concerned resident, I'd like to understand where $150,000 in annual security funds are being allocated. There appears to be no breakdown or audit. Jessica backed me up. Then Maddie connected her phone to the projector and played the security footage, Curtis drawing a gun on her, followed by video of him trespassing and vandalizing our yard. The room exploded. Curtis lost it. He charged the stage. But Maddie, cool as ever, stepped forward and took him down in under 5 seconds. Disarmed. Handcuffed. Face down. By the time he realized what happened, Officer Morales had stepped forward, flashed his badge, and arrested him on the spot. Robert tried to flee. Didn't get far. The fallout. Massive. The Whitmans were removed from their positions. The fraudulent contracts unraveled. Charges were filed. And the best part, the neighbors who once looked away finally found their voices. A new board was elected, Jessica as president, Linda from across the street as VP. Transparency became the new rule. HOA fees dropped. Peace actually returned. On Maddie's last evening before flying out, we hosted a neighborhood cookout. People laughed. Kids played. It felt real. As we sat on the porch, bourbon in hand, I asked her why she didn't just report Curtis that first night. She smiled. Because that wouldn't have fixed the disease. Just the symptom. And she was right. This wasn't about a single power-drunk guard. It was about unchecked control, greed, and the danger of silence. Maddie didn't just protect me. She helped a whole community reclaim itself. So tell me this. What would you do if an HOA security guard pulled a gun on your daughter? Would you walk away or dig in and fight? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about when enough is enough.